get to our top 3 pitches.
We should. I'm excited to hear this.
I'm excited too. Let's do this. Bring in, girls. Let's go. Come on. Kat Venuti, an established actress based in Los Angeles who recently performed for the golden age of radio with SAG-AFTRA. Kat will be pitching her comedy short script entitled Dog Days.
Hi, I'm Kat Venuti. My short film Dog Days is about dating in Los Angeles, but with a twist. We follow 2 friends, Grace and Ellie, who through their love of dogs and love of men, suddenly start to see a lot of the same similarities and characteristics between the two. Spurred on to find a new love, they go to the local farmer's market to check out the new rescues. But instead of dogs in cages, we find men in cages. Each man comes with a helpful description to let each woman know exactly what she'd be getting into dating a man in LA who needs to be rescued. The cages have signs that say, "Take me home, rescue me, I'd love to sleep with you." There's the musician, the actor, the entrepreneur who's really an Uber driver, and the real entrepreneur who's the CEO of an IT company. Oh, and fun fact, you need to be geographically desirable. It's called geography dating. Let's face it, LA is a big city with lots of traffic, and you know that a man is interested in you when he asks, "Where do you live?" Which might seem like it's a weird question, but what he's really trying to do is decide if you're worth the time and effort. Dog Days is an uplifting, feel-good movie that's relatable to everyone who's looking for love. It's easy to make, can be shot in 1 to 2 days with 2 locations and a small cast. Plus, who doesn't want to see men in cages? That's why you should vote for Dog Days. Any questions?
Where were you? What kind of casting were you gonna have for these guys?
I have a lot of friends that are actors.
Okay.
But I have some very specific types that I think it's really easy with the musician and the actor. We know a lot of
Those
those
are
in
easy
LA.
enough.
Really easy. Yeah.
And plenty of Uber drivers too. I feel like you could pluck some. I've done that for commercials before. I've had an Uber driver like, "You fit, get in."
Yeah. I think
Get
it's
out of
pretty
the van
easy.
and
you know,
into the
there's
set.
not a dearth of actors in Los Angeles, so I think it'd be pretty easy to cast.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Who were you for your crew? Who were you thinking for like directing it, and do you have that ironed out yet?
Well, I believe that we have an in-house crew already set to go.
That is true.
Yeah. So I was just going to use the in-house director, but I have a lot of friends that are ADs that would be willing to direct, so that would be pretty easy too. I actually wrote this film for me to star in as like someone who wants to create their own content and move their career forward and show everybody that it's light and funny, that I can write, that we can be funny. So I'd like to hand it over to someone else to direct.
That's the plan. That's always a good plan, I think. I think there's kind of like two kinds of stories. Like sometimes you have these scripts that are like, no, it's too wild. It's too like Cronenberg-esque that it needs to be it needs to be directed by that person because that brain just needs its own space.
Right.
But on the other side of the coin is that you take your thing, you make your little package and you hand it off and you say, deliver it.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's the way to go with this one for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
Do you have any things that you're worried about?
No, not really. I think this is pretty easy and pretty straightforward. I think the thing that I'm most excited about is I think it's going to be fun. It's fun and funny and original. And how often can you say that about something in Hollywood? And I think that the surprise is to see the men in cages that no one's really anticipating. They think that they're going to the farmer's market to actually look for dog rescue, which is another issue that's near and dear to my heart. I think it's really important to get that dog rescue message out, even though we're rescuing men and it's tongue-in-cheek with the dating.
Well, they both need equal rescuing. So
yes,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Where do you see this as like a perfect home? Like if you could pick like the A1 spot for this to like go live its life for the audience, where do you think that would be?
As a short film?
Yeah.
Well, I think it would be great to enter it into different contests. I think that there are a few different channels. I think Amazon has something where they promote short films.
They do. Especially if you're festivaling.
Right. So, and I think it's just really funny and well written and unexpected and
definitely unexpected.
And you know, the other thing too that I think is really important, I don't know if you saw any of the short films that were nominated, the live action shorts that were nominated for the Oscars this past year. They were really kind of dark.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think that a short film has to be super dark. I think it can just have a beginning, a middle, and an end and be really fun.
And get the point across.
Yeah, exactly.
Without a feature block of
And
time.
everyone has a funny dating story. Everyone has a did that just really happen?
Absolutely.
Story, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah. So I'm excited, and I would really love it if you could make the film. So.
Okay. I will keep it in consideration.
Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Liz Marshall, a Los Angeles-based writer and director. Liz received her BA in film and TV production at USC. Liz will be pitching her mystery thriller script entitled Wide Eyes.
My name is Liz Marshall, and the title of my project is Wide Eyes. So, Wide Eyes is a mystery thriller about a single mother whose youngest daughter goes missing. And in her desperation, she accepts the help of a psychic that shows up on her doorstep, claiming to be able to find her child. But she gets more than she bargained for when the psychic unravels a dark truth that changes her family forever.
Okay. So, do you have a log line for this to like make it like what's your like poster log line?
A single mother tries to find her youngest daughter that goes missing.
Okay. Where did you plan on shooting this? Is this like a down on the bayou kind of thing, or is it like, does she live in like a penthouse apartment, or like where, like what kind of family is it? Like what's the vibe of it? What does it look like?
This is supposed to be like your average suburban neighborhood, can be kind of anywhere America type of thing.
Okay. Do you have any ideas for like casting or like the other, not, it could be casting like or crew, like who you want to work with on this?
Yeah, so the first thing that I did once I graduated, I've been out of school about a year, was make a short film. And I got to work with a very talented young actress, which is hard when you're casting like a 9-year-old.
It is. It's very hard.
And she happened to have 2 other very talented sisters.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I actually kind of wrote it with them in mind because they were really, really great. So that's who I would like to cast.
That's cool. Well, that's great. That's really, it's a lovely marriage of things when you get to write something with somebody in mind and you can kind of tailor that situation to it. Is she a multiple? Is she like a twin or a triplet, or is it regular siblings?
They're regular siblings.
Okay, cool. And then did you base this on like any sort of like true crime thing where a psychic got involved?
Actually, yeah, it's sort of based around a story that I heard on John Oliver. He did a segment about this psychic who had been giving families like false hope about their missing loved ones. And there was one particular instance where it was really sad. A mother like died not knowing that her child was still alive and out there.
That's really gnarly.
Yeah.
I've been reading a bunch of like true crime stuff lately, like from a production standpoint, like not because I'm like interested in murderers, but that's a big selling point for something like that, is if it's like, even if it's like inspired by, because like based on true events is a very, very, very loose poster item that you can take many, many liberties with. So definitely keep that going. If you could like, what would be like the best home for it? Like if you could just like wave a magic wand and be like, it's gonna live here, like where would you want it to go? Or where could you see it like fitting and going?
Like in terms of a specific location?
No, like for its distribution, like where would you want it to like go live its life to the audience?
I think it would be like a good streaming type of project.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Cool. Do you see yourself like, do you feel like it fits a kind of like a genre or a format where it could be like extrapolated out, where you could take other stories that this like false psychic went around spreading and like turn it into like a micro series or something?
Yeah, it actually ends on like a bit of a cliffhanger where she's going to a new family.
Okay. Interesting. Series worthy. Do you have anything that you're like concerned about or like hung up on, like, oh, I really want to do this, but I don't know how we're going to shoot it or how you're going to pull something off?
Not really. This was written to be like very simple in terms of locations and like nothing too complex, no stunts or anything like that.
Okay. I did. So how many locations do you have?
So it's set in one home
Okay.
and the interior of a car.
And how many actors?
Let's see, there's 5.
Okay. All right. That's kind of like one like little micro genre that I'm really into is like single location and just like a couple actors, like and it's just like super good writing, and the writing and the direction and the actors just like move the thing forward, and you're completely enthralled in it even though you don't have all of this pomp and circumstance going on. So that's really interesting. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your pitch then.
Yeah, thank you.
Beth Goldberg, an actress, writer, singer, all-around filmmaker. One of Beth's written work is currently trending and getting top review on the Blacklist. Beth will be pitching her comedy short script entitled Blush Girl.
Hi, I'm Beth Goldberg, and my film was Blush Girl. So just as a quick refresher, Blush Girl tells the story of a young woman who is fed up with the dating scene, but she's still desperate to find love, so she ridiculously turns to a trashy magazine article's 10 tips to land your man for advice. But when all of her attempts ornamentally fail, she discovers something that she never expected to find, something that is even more important than the love of a man.
Okay. How many locations do you have going for this?
There are 6 locations in this. 2 of the locations are like the apartment. So within the apartment,
Okay.
there's the kitchen, the living room, the bedroom, but full
That's
like
one.
yeah, exactly. So total there's 6 locations.
Okay. And then do you have anybody in mind for casting?
The characters?
Yeah.
So I would actually love to play the lead.
Of course.
Of course. That's a lot of the times I write for stuff that I experience as well, so that's kind of why I always think of myself in these projects. But so there's 1 lead character, 1 supporting character, and 7 featured male and female roles. So I would love to play the lead. I have a couple of people in mind, for the other characters, but there's no one specifically that I would need to be a part of this.
So you're okay. So you're open. You're open.
I am very
You're playing
open.
it fast and
Casting
loose.
is actually one of my favorite things to do. I really enjoyed that whole process.
Bless
so.
you.
No, I think it's fun to be on the other side for once.
I don't. Just send them in.
And you're hired.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you did the thing? Okay, great.
Great,
Wonderful.
you're good.
Perfect. Do you have any like crew requirements? Like, do you have anything that you're like, okay, like this, like looks wise, like how do you see this like looking? What is
like
the
the
look and the
style
vibe
of
it?
okay, yeah, great. So it's a romantic comedy. So so there's obviously going to be a lot of humor there, but at the core of it, there's going to be some heart and a strong message. So I kind of see this in the style of like a Judd Apatow type of film.
Okay.
Very like grounded, very real life. But I mean, there's humor in real life all the time, so that's kind of how I see it. I would love to actually have a female director with this, if that's something that I could find, because it's definitely going to have some of the rom-com tropes involved, but because there's a little bit more of like a grounded reality to the female experience through the dating scene, I would love to actually have a female voice be able to portray that authentically.
Interesting. So is there any sort like this article that's in here? Was that real? Did you pull that from somewhere?
I am a 90s girl, so I steal articles from Cosmo Girl, that's where Blush Girl came from, because that's the name of the magazine, Blush. But it wasn't a specific article that I found, but we've all seen those articles. How to get that rockin' bod, how to, like, everything. And to be honest, I actually did look up online stuff like that. So
sometimes
it is out there.
Google.
Those, and every single thing that I put in there, it was a legitimate thing that I did find. And one of them, I don't want to tell you what it is yet, but it's interesting.
Is it raunchy?
It is.
Oh, good.
It is a little raunchy. And it's one of those that when you do it, you're like, ooh, really? Oh, God. But it's so much fun.
I dig filthy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
definitely it's one of my genres.
There's a touch of filthy in
It's
there.
filthy, for sure. Do you feel like there's anything that you're like concernicus about, or like are you worried about getting a shot or a
I wouldn't say
pulling
that
off a gag?
actually. Well, I'm always a little concerned about the humor landing. As a writer, that's always, it sounds good in my head, so, who knows whether it actually is going to be
play in the room or
well.
not.
Exactly. But I feel pretty solid about it. I think that if it's filmed well and acted well, then I think everything will land.
Okay.
I think so.
No areas of concern.
I don't,
okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so.
Do you have anything else that you want to add?
I don't believe so. I'm excited about
Okay.
this.
Okay.
This started as a little, I was in a sketch comedy group, and this started as I told this raunchy thing I told to my friend, like, listen to what I read in a magazine, and she goes, oh my God, that needs to be a sketch. And I started writing it, and it turned into a short film. So it was just too much, and the whole thing was surrounding that one raunchy piece. So, and it just kind of evolved into something that's a little bit more true to what women experience, because, as much as I love the romantic comedies, everybody needs to sit back and cry and love and just believe that love is out there. Sometimes the reality is it's not that simple, and we have to go through some hard times, and sometimes it's not necessarily about the love of a man. So that's kind of what... love of a significant other, I'll say that. So it's just, it's sometimes a little bit more personal, a little more important than that. And that's what I wanted to tell.
I mean, that's the theory of Frozen, and they did
Sister
great.
love,
so,
yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. I had fun.
Me too.
Thanks.
Now the competition is tense, and it's up to you to decide who our winning filmmaker will be. Who are you voting for? Kat Venuti, Liz Marshall, Beth Goldberg. The elevator pitch is brought to you by Female Filmmakers Fuse. Female Filmmakers Fuse is a non-profit organization. It is set to provide a platform for filmmakers to empower and support female filmmakers. We are a 501c3 organization. If you wish to get involved or donate, please visit us on our website at femalefilmmakersfuse.org.